Guys, it is day 21 here on the first ever Mash and Drum Advent Calendar video series. 4 days until Christmas, the magical day. Mr. Grinch, how you feeling, buddy? I can't avoid it. The songs, the movies, the joy, the happiness. Well, on Christmas Day, I fully expect your heart to grow 3 times the size again. It's what makes you, endearing. My heart growing 3 times is not endearing. It's a trip to the emergency room. We'll see what happens, but last night, I actually watched your second favorite Christmas movie. Oh, you mean Home Alone? Home Alone. You know what? Hit me with a fun fact. The first one is that did you know Macaulay Culkin improvised one of the most iconic Home Alone moments, which was the part where he puts his hands to his face and he does the iconic scream. So in actuality, that iconic moment from Home Alone was an accident. I also had an accident in your stocking. Let's move on to the next one. So John Candy's role in the film as Gus Polinski, Polka King of the Midwest, was all improvised. That funeral parlor story he told in the truck on the way back to Chicago was all improvised at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. We could barely keep a straight face on set just listening to John. I'll give you that. John Candy is a legend. At least we could agree on something, Grinch. One last fact. The last fact is that Home Alone fooled many people into believing Angels with Filthy Souls was an actual real movie. Both movie scenes in Home Alone 1 and 2 were specifically created just for Home Alone. The way they shot the film in black and white is what really made it truly believable. I love that black and white movie. Why? Because of the final line? Can I say it? Sure, go ahead. It's getting close to Christmas. Keep the change, you filthy animal. Not bad. Day 21, here we go. What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. I am Jason C. Like, subscribe, do all the things you need to do to help grow the channel for the rest of the year. Appreciate it. This is your first time watching an Advent video. This is how it works. A few weeks ago, I asked my mom and my girlfriend to pick 25 random bottles in my whiskey room. Anything. Make up 25 samples for the 25 days of Christmas for the first ever Mash and Drum Advent Calendar that I have dubbed How Much Would I Pay? Mash and Drum Advent Calendar Countdown to Christmas Day. For the past 20 days, I've been opening up these samples, nosing them, tasting them, maybe trying to guess what it is, determine the proof, maybe determine the age, but ultimately determine how much I would pay for that whiskey. Then after I name my price, I reveal the sample in this Advent Calendar, and we could see what I was sipping and compare my value to the actual value. All right, day 21, here we go. All right, let's check the color. Nice, rich caramel color. Not quite as dark as some of the others we've had, but who knows? Let's see what we got. Wow, very, very rich on the nose. This has a lot of layers already. This is like a pure Snickers bar in the glass. I'm getting like almond, nuttiness, caramel, chocolate, but I'm also picking up some leather, which makes me think there's a good amount of age on here, but it's also very sweet. Honestly, I think the main note I'm getting here is that like super rich vanilla extract. So let's give it a try. Here we go. It's super sweet. It's super rich on the palate. Got a lot of flavor. God, there's just so much sweetness to this. Good proof point. I think this has some age too. I would venture a guess that this is definitely higher than 10 years old. Not exactly sure where that falls, but gonna need another sip of that. I don't know, this one's a thinker. Because the proof on this, I thought was gonna be super high, but now it's not really coming off as super high right now. Second sip, I mean, it could be kind of the high teens into the maybe low 120s, somewhere in that range. It's got a great finish to it, good viscosity. The age is what's hanging me up. When I'm first smelling it, I feel like I did get some older age notes here, but not really quite sure. This one's tough. It's lighter than I thought it was gonna be off the bat. I think it's a little bit of a lower proof than I'm thinking, and I think it's a little bit of a lower age than I'm thinking. This could be like 100 proof, maybe even a little lower. The more I sip it, the more easy it's getting, and I think what I'm really hitting is a spice. This has a really nice spice to it. As far as age goes, I thought this could have been maybe a 14 to 15-year-old product, but I don't think it's that old. I would probably guess maybe, I hate to like default to like 8-9 years, but that's where I feel like it's at. It's really good. Even for a low proof, it has a lot of depth of flavor to it. It's sipping like a bourbon, but it's got a lot of spice like a rye. So, man, I wonder if this is a Burai of some sort. I mean, my guesses are maybe Lost Monarch, maybe a little bit. But I think this has more age than Lost Monarch from Redwood Empire. It's giving me bourbon and rye vibes. Rye on the finish, bourbon on the front of the palate. Again, kind of a lower proof point here. This one's tough. I'm gonna bump this up to 11 years old. I think every time I go back to it, I think I'm getting a little bit more age on it. I'm gonna say it's 11 years old. I think it's a low proof. I'll say 100 just to be safe. I do think this is tough because I feel like it's like, I'll say it's a Burai. I think it's a Burai blend. I'm not sure what bottle that would be. Part of me wants to go rye, but then there's another half of me that wants to go bourbon. I'm not really sure where that falls. And as far as what I would pay for this, even though it's a little bit of a lower proof, I do like the depth to it. I like the flavors. I'm gonna say, I'll say 120 bucks for this. I like it for right around 120. I think that's what I would pay for this whiskey. So let's find out what it is. 21 is all the way over here. All right, come on out. All right, let's break that seal and whoa, this makes a lot of sense. This makes a lot of sense. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Michter's 10-year straight rye whiskey. Let me get the bottle. So all the way in the corner of my whiskey room, they found this bottle. Here it is, Michter's 10-year rye whiskey. This makes a lot of sense. I couldn't tell if it was a bourbon or a rye because this drinks like a bourbon. This is a bourbon lover's rye, and it's not even close. Now, the proof on it, I said maybe 100, but this actually is only 92.8 proof, 92.8. So it's a pretty low proof for a rye whiskey, but it actually, like I said, it had really good spice in the back end. Made me think it was a little bit of a higher proof. I think these, I've been stumped before on this on blind tastings, thinking it's a bourbon. So this completely makes sense. I did feel like I got some rye on the back end of it, but this is always one of my favorite ryes each and every year. It is delicious. Now, I said 120 bucks for this, maybe 150 if I push it, but this bottle in actuality, I think is about 170, 180 dollars these days. And I think generally I've always kind of knocked the price on this because it is such a low proof. But Michter's does have a knack of making low proof whiskeys really flavorful, and the Michter's 10 year is no exception. So let's add Michter's 10 year to the advent calendar right now. This is one of the few ryes we've had in the advent calendar this month, so good to see another one kind of make the calendar. And with that said, if you like the video, please hit the subscribe button below, please hit that like button, and if you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram. Let me know what you think about Michter's 10 year. Are you willing to pay the higher price for it, closer to 200 to get this bottle, or do you wish it was a little bit of a lower price because of that low proof point? And with that said, like I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Day 21 in the books. Cheers. See you tomorrow right here for day 22. Happy holidays. Cheers.